Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers and sisters. I am in episode 4. This is Raya and I'm continuing with the issues with the marriage. Suppose really episode 4 and 3 should have been one episode, but I didn't want to make it too long for you. This area that I'm talking about marriage is very important, and I mentioned to you in the last episode why many of us ignore or have ignored, for some of us that have gone past that stage, we have ignored a lot of signals, warning signals when we are considering marriage, either it's ourselves or our children. We're ignoring certain signals that would come to haunt us later because we didn't pay proper attention to it before. My case was that the man that was interested to get married, I loved him, I was attracted to him. This happened prior to really getting to the nitty-gritty of marriage. And I realized he's really not open to have children. He's really not open to have, take responsibility for the family so much, but he was not telling me this very clearly, asking me to give him time. And I was blinded by his good looks, good behavior, and after having been in the secular society for many years in the US, I was 22 when I moved to the United States, migrated to the United States, and I'm in my late 20s by this stage. So I have come across many people, men, women, and I see their life values were different from what I was used to in Iran. I'm not criticizing to say the value was not good or proper for a Western society. I guess this was the norm, marriage based on attraction, based on mutual husband, wife, they work, they have a family, and divorce was very simple thing in the Western society, is even more simple. People get married because it sounds like a good idea, and for very little reason sometimes the divorce is just, okay, that's also very simple to get divorced. But what hurts more than anything else is the children that are involved. In my case, I was not thinking about that. I love this man, I want to marry him. So whatever reason he gave me was good enough. So we get married. And at the time I was out in real estate. I had my own home and he had his own condominium. And I was real estate broker. One of my clients had a very nice home overlooking the ocean in Torrance, which is called Torrance, the area in Southern California. He called me one day, he said he wants to sell his house. I said, what happened? You built this house, you spent so many years, built this house with this German fellow with his wife as a child, boy Johnny, named Johnny. And he said something happened with their marriage, a very, very disturbing situation happened that he wants to sell the house. He even wants to have nothing to do with the house, just walk out, just sell the house, get the money and leave. Anyway, I was sad to hear about his story, and I said, okay, I will put it up for sale immediately, sell it for you. Okay, now at this time, I am married in, let's say, a few months only, a few months. I looked around, I saw this man's house, I absolutely fell in love with it, and I knew this is like, no way, this is not something we can afford. My house, I had bought it first year when I got my real estate license, and with my commission I bought the house. It was like, that time was $73,000, and I bought the house. It was a 2-bedroom house, and I had a mortgage. At the time I was not concerned about interest. I bought the house. It was a pretty house. It was very nice, big bedrooms and nice backyard. I saw this place is like a castle compared to what I have. I told my husband, I said, let's sell my house and use that as a down payment and then buy this house and let him carry the mortgage. I'm going to ask him not to charge us monthly payment for 2 years, but we will pay for his bank mortgage, which we could handle, $600-700 a month. We could handle that. And in 2 years, this house, he was asking $250,000. I said, in 2 years, this house is going to be worth $600,000-700,000. We will sell it, we'll get the profit, we will pay him and everything else. This again, it's something that no one knows the future. I was basing it on my past experience that real estate market was really booming incredibly in Southern California. You buy a house for $100,000, within a very short time it's $150,000, by next year $200,000. With that kind of a mentality, I said, let's buy it. And he was very conservative. He didn't agree. So sometimes he was right, and sometimes I should have listened to him. But at this time, I was the kind that all my life, whatever I wanted, I would go for it. First, I actualize it. Yeah, I want it, I get it, then I'll go to the process of actualizing the goal. For example, when I mentioned 2 episodes ago that I had a Volkswagen, then I got a Bentley, then I got a Rolls Royce. How did I get the Rolls Royce? Just because it's a big shots car. It's like the car of the kings and queens. And this Rolls Royce, it was not new. It was just very beautiful old Rolls Royce that was worth a lot more money than I had ever made. I told the guy I will take it. And I gave him my Bentley, and I said, I'll pay you off in 3 months. At the time, I'm not married. He said, okay. He knew me from town. This is Raya. Raya wants to buy my car. Yes, Raya. Okay, take it. So within 3 months, I paid the car off because I made money. I made with my real estate commission. I paid the car off. So this house was no different than that. I said, let's take the house in 2 years. We owe him $200,000. No problem. We will buy it. We will pay it. So I convinced him, even though he was not happy with it. He went along with it. We bought the house. We moved into, in the meantime, I put my house up for sale, and I made $100,000 profit on the house. This was a good thing. And I gave the money to this man, part of it, and my commission and everything. It comes to all that almost $100,000 we give to him. And he still has $200,000 still to carry. I guess it was 70, whatever amount it was, we still owed him $200,000. I don't remember everything very clearly. It just so happened in the 80s when we got this house and we were married and we were active and doing everything, and real estate market has started going down. In the meantime, although I loved the house, it was very beautiful, our real estate business was not doing well. Why? Because we decided to work from the home instead of working in the office, paying somebody else's office rent and have salesmen and everything else. So we decided to work from the home. Whenever you decide to work from the home, it seems like now with the COVID is happening, many people are working from the home. If they have some kind of assignment from work, of course they have to respond and they have to finish it. But if they're on their own, it is a natural thing that people, when they're home, they're trying to do something, they kind of get lazy, they want to watch something, they want to eat something, they want to take a nap. Somehow it didn't work for us. We did not produce anything. And in the meantime, I wanted to get pregnant. I am 32 years old. We have a few months, we've gotten married, and I bring this up to my husband, and he asked me to give him more time. He's still not ready. Okay, I give him more time. A few months later, I said, I'm not getting younger. We had talked about this, and I think this is a good time to consider, conceiving, having a child. Very reluctantly he agreed. And sure enough, I got pregnant, and it kind of was not a joyful pregnancy. He was not very supportive. Again, may Allah forgive me, I don't want to backbite him. Again, this goes back to my original talk. This man, to begin with, he was not interested in having children. And whatever his reason, whatever his background was, this was his mentality. Now I talk him into having a child, I'm pregnant, and he, maybe some men don't know how to be involved with their wives while she's pregnant. She goes through hormonal changes and her needs are different. He just wasn't there. It was a lonely pregnancy. And finally, alhamdulillah, I gave birth to a big boy, over 11 pounds, that looked like a 3-month-old baby. And we called him Benjamin, and I called his Islamic name Muhammad, and then read the adhan in his ear. These things that I knew. And by the way, I didn't mention that my husband did convert to Islam when we got married, just because this is what I knew that has to happen. Muslim woman cannot marry a non-Muslim man. But like I said, I was not practicing. He became Muslim, his name became from Stan to Ismail. He accepted, he wrote a declaration of faith, he signed it, but he also wanted to have a Sufi marriage, and I didn't know much about Sufism. I could find, we would do that. We had 2 marriages. We were in a country club. We got married. The marriage cost at that time $10,000. This is all that he had, basically, from the sale of his home. I had asked him to pay for the wedding, and he reluctantly paid. Again, one more of my own mistake. I wanted to have a glamorous wedding in a country club. We had 250 people invited from my relatives, his relatives, and we had band, and we had they're serving champagne. And this is something that, if I were practicing Muslim, none of this would have happened. He resented the fact that he used the last of the money, or the only chunk of money he had, to pay for the wedding that just was gone, overnight. It was spent. And not only that, we went to Tahiti for our honeymoon. I don't remember who paid for it. It was a very good time. But this is another sign. In the honeymoon, for example, I wanted to go scuba diving, he wanted to go volleyball. The whole time, 2 weeks we were there, we were never together. What he was interested in was different than what I was interested in. Little did I know at the time that this was going to be the norm in our lives, because our interests were different. We did not talk about what is our interest. All we thought, we both are in real estate, and that was it. And the other thing that he was very interested in, very, very interested to reading books, science fiction books or fantasy books. Very interested reading and reading and reading and watching TV and watching and swimming in the ocean and swimming in the pool. These are just, he loved these kind of things. Well, that's good. That's something that he liked. And for me, none of these interested me. And this was another thing, he spent a lot of time in these activities, and I was on the phone worrying, I'm pregnant, I have a child, trying to get some business going on, and it was not happening. I was not able to pull it through, which was very difficult. Anyhow, so we were facing more and more difficulties. To a point where at one point we did get a really good commission, real estate commission, with some clients that I had. I had to sell a hospital to some clients that he was a good instrument. He was really helpful to put this deal together. So we got a good commission, and we got our commission $40,000 in cash. He wanted to have it in cash, to see it, to touch $40,000 in cash. And I remember we put it upstairs when our bedroom was, and there was a loft. We spread this money all over the floor, $40,000. We spread it, we walked on it, we rolled on it, we just poured it in the air, we just let it shower on us. everything. It was just like one of the two little kids playing with $40,000 cash. So once we had a good time, we decided, okay, we'll split this money. I get 20,000, he gets 20,000, and we do what we want to do each with this. And he decided he always wanted to have a health club because he was always very interested in health, with exercise and things like this. And I wasn't sure what I'm going to do with it. All I knew is I better put this in the savings because soon I know we're going to be using my money, which exactly that's what happened. And with his 20,000, he put in a health club. And by then, well, actually something came in between this, that we decided at some point we're going to move to Sacramento, because this is before this money came into our hands. We wanted to go to Sacramento, and he wanted to do real estate with a friend. He felt he can really make a good living there, and only if he went there, only if he worked with his friend, he could make money. I was always open to any suggestion he had, as long as he could support the family. So we had basically my son. We had my son. At the time we were talking about moving, we were not sure. I was not happy. My milk had dried up. It was like he was 7 months old. I barely had milk coming out. While we're talking about Sacramento, a friend of us, husband and wife, they bought a big, large motorhome. They asked if he would like to go to Canada with them, and looking for a place to possibly move to. And we were both very open to that. They said, yes, we're willing to go. At last minute, the wife didn't go, so we went with the husband, my husband and I, and our baby Benjamin. And as soon as we moved out of Los Angeles, my milk started flowing. By the time we got another 150 miles, my milk was flowing. My baby was drinking milk to a point where my clothes were soaked with milk. Like milk was running down my clothes. It's like so obvious. This is so obvious. That's another thing. Working mothers who are nursing your babies and you're complaining you don't have enough, just remember, whatever is going on in your mind, any kind of stress affects your milk. Not only affects your milk, the quantity of your milk, it affects the quality of your milk. Why I know this? I know that whenever I was nursing my baby and maybe I was talking on the phone, he would start crying. When I put the phone down, he's quiet. He's drinking. Because everything is connected. All of our nervous system are connected together. He was feeling it. He was crying. He was upset. Why am I taking away his right and giving it to somebody else? Now here we're going up to the mountain, Mount Shasta, and then Mount Shasta we had an incredible encounter with a group. There was a man called Peter Cathy. Peter Cathy had a huge community in Scotland. It's called Finhorn. And people that lived there, they were very health conscious, they were spiritual, there were a lot of things at the time that was really attractive to us. We connected with them, we were both interested in what they had done. And anyhow, we spent some time with them and we moved on. We went up north until we got to Canada. We had a great time. We loved Canada. We liked the Okanagan area. We thought it would be a great place to live there, raise family. We didn't have the money. We just the wishful thinking. I had a property, I had another property, fourplex. It's not enough for us to sell and go there. So we liked the idea. We thought, okay, for the future, if you're able to, the other families, the man was chief of police in Los Angeles, and he was retiring. He was open to move, him and his wife and 2 daughters. Anyhow, we came back, then nothing changed. The commission situation came up. My husband said that he wants to buy a health club. I said, fine. He got 20,000. he got the health club, and we had to move to the area where the health club was. Within a few months, we lost the health club. He wanted me to be involved, and by then I had the second child. In Sacramento, I conceived the second child, and then I gave birth to the second child. So I could not help him in the health club. I had a baby and a toddler. My father ended up moving in with us. He had cancer. I had to take care of him. It was a very, very hard life at the time, very hard time in my life, and I had to really make some serious decision at that time that also really had an incredible impact and effect for the rest of my life. So inshallah, I will talk about that in the next episode. Again, thank you for taking the time and listening. Please reflect on what I'm saying. These are a lot of warnings that I ignored. May Allah forgive me. May Allah forgive me, because I am the guilty one. I am the one that should have paid more attention. Anyhow, I have a lot more exciting things to share with you in the next episode. For right now, I just want to say goodbye and wishing you the best. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.